further ado, let me extend my warmest and most passionate welcome to each and every one of you gathered here to witness the momentous occasion. I am Calvin Ruben Charles, and I will be your MC for today. So, we have gathered some of the brightest and most innovative minds from students around the School of Malaysia dedicated to creating sustainable solutions for a better future. Today, with us, we have the representative of Malaysia Japan International Institute of Technology, MJIIT UTM, Associate Prof. Dr. Rosha Firma Rasid Ali, and the representative from Lotus Stores Malaysia, Ms. Zakia Hanim Muhammad Hamdan, our 14 respectful judges from UTM, and our esteemed judges from Lotus, Ms. Hanim, Head of Communication and Sustainability, Mr. Sanjay Menon, Sustainability Manager, and Ms. Nur Hidayah Mazlan, Technical Manager from the Trading, Law and Technical Department. We express our sincere gratitude for their time, commitment, and dedication to this event. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a round of applause to our esteemed panel of judges whose invaluable contribution will shape the outcome of this competition. Thank you for joining us today and for leading your expertise to this exciting intellectual journey. I am deeply aware that time is man's greatest resource. We shall henceforth proceed with a short briefing. With that, I am pleased and proud to call upon Mr. Lakshman Rao, the Director of NaSIC’23 to the stage. Go ahead, Mr. Lakshman. The floor is all yours.
Thank you, Kelvin. Okay. So, a very warm welcome to all. I would like to take this moment to congratulate all the teams for coming this far in NaSIC’23. Please give yourself a round of applause. Your dedication and hard work have brought us to this exciting stage of the competition. So now, to all the viewers and supporters of NaSIC, NaSIC’23 is a collaborative initiative between the Malaysia-Japan International Institute of Technology, MJIIT, one of Malaysia's leading retailers, Lotus Stores Malaysia, and supported technically by the Chemical Process Engineering Student Society of MJIIT under the recognition of Ministry of Education Malaysia. NaSIC’23 primarily focuses on promoting green technology, engineering, and science-based solutions that are directly aligned with the 8 out of 17 Sustainable Development Goals adopted by the United Nations. This innovation pitching competition comprises of 3 phases and offers virtual workshops led by academicians and professional experts. The team revolving around revolutionizing practice develop green environment and community. So it's already how workshops serve as a foundation, laying the basic structures for participants' ideas to develop and grow. So right now it has been almost a month plus ever since we had an opening ceremony on the 13th of May and as well. So every challenge you face is an opportunity to learn and grow. So I'd just like to remind all teams to embrace the abilities and never underestimate the power of your idea. I have no doubt that each and every one of you will shine bright. Finally, I would like to extend my best wishes to everyone participating in NaSIC’23 virtual pitching competition powered by Malaysia Kini. May you all perform at your best, unlock your full potential, and create something truly remarkable. Remember, success is not just about winning, it's about the knowledge gained, the friendships forged, memories created along the way. So let's embark on this exciting phase together and make NaSIC 23 an unforgettable experience for everyone. Again, I would like to wish all the best to all of the teams for the virtual pitching competition. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Lakshman, for the very informative briefing. Next, let me explain how this competition will unfold during this session. The opening and closing will only be done via Zoom sessions, so other participants can watch via live streaming on Malaysia Kini's Facebook or YouTube. The momentum of this pitching session will be maintained seamlessly, with each presentation flowing smoothly into the next, leaving no room for waiting time. However, it is important to note that the second part of the session is scheduled to commence promptly at 11 a.m., ensuring a punctual start for all participants. Each participant will be given a total of 10 minutes pitching to present their ideas to our panel of judges and 7 minutes of Q&A session. The MC in the session will stop presentation once the presentation reaches 10 minutes. A chat reminder will be made at 9 minutes of the presentation. Please take note on the mentioned points to prepare yourself for the virtual pitching. So without further ado, let's get started the virtual pitching competition with the first group from College Tingkatan 6 Desa Makota, Go Plus Green. The floor is yours and you may start now.
Good morning to the judges and everyone who is watching right now. We are Go Plus Green. I am Wei Zheng, and it's a group leader.
I'm On Ding Xian.
And I'm Katrina.
We are from College Tingkatan 6 Desa Makota. Today we will be presenting our solutions to reduce plastic in fresh produce area, which is a long-term solution, microalgae, and a short-term solution, reward system. Lotus is a top choice when we are talking about buying fresh products. However, huge amount of roller plastics bags were used by the customers every day at the fresh produce area. As a result, roller plastic consumption rate is still high. This situation does not correspond to the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. Hence, a long-lasting eco-friendly solution needs to be identified to solve this issue while following the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals.
So now we are moving on to the customers and market needs. For the customer needs, we discovered that the customer need roller plastic to carry fresh products like meats, fish, vegetables, and fruits. We also noticed that some customers will sometimes take some roller plastic homes for personal usage, for example, like collecting rubbish. This situation has caused a small increase in the single-use roller plastic consumption rate in Lotus. And our goal here is to lower down the roller plastic consumption rate at the fresh produce area, while also maintaining the customer satisfaction for Lotus service. As for the market needs, every country demands for the implementation of green technology in every field. From this standpoint, the adaptation of biodegradable roller plastic is inevitable in the long run. And besides that, since the goal of Lotus is to achieve sustainable management and efficient use of natural resources, as stated in the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. Therefore, a sustainable way of producing biodegradable roller plastic has to be identified so that the market need is fulfilled.
So next, I would like to present our ideas regarding to the approaches to satisfy the need. So it has been classified as a long-term benefit as well as a value. So first, we are going to discuss more details regarding to the microalgae research as a long-term approach. So Lotus Research and Department faculty should focus on the development and productions of biodegradable plastic by using microalgae. So everyone might be curious about it, like why are we using microalgae to produce biodegradable plastic? So actually, microalgae is a renewable sources as it can reproduce easily by itself as long as it is in a suitable environment. So the fact that show the cost of producing microalgae is lower is because it is a renewable sources. It can be found easily and no further care is required. So in the meantime, the reward system should be run by the Lotus department as it brings several benefits. So first, the numbers of plastic consumed can only depends on the amount of fresh product purchased. This is because people tend to take more roller plastic in order to pack their watery grocery items such as meat, fish, as well as vegetables. Hence, customers who get extra roller plastics will not get any point for the exclusive vouchers. So from this situation, customers are required to make their payment at the counter that are mainly for fresh product area, as it can help the customers to get the reward point.
So for the two approaches that we have chosen, we are actually taught and discussed thoroughly about their benefits in terms of cost and value. One of the benefits per cost of the microalgae approach is that by doing so, Lotus could lower down the cost for buying single-use roller plastic. This is because Lotus can save money by producing fully biodegradable roller plastic by themselves. Moreover, there is a possibility that the taxation of using single-use plastic might exist in the future. So, by being able to produce our own biodegradable roller plastic, Lotus could potentially avoid this taxation and save money. Furthermore, the microalgae farm is said to be inexpensive to maintain. This is because algae can actually reproduce rapidly and easily as long as they have nutrients and water. This also means that the microalgae can produce biodegradable plastic at a faster rate.
And for the benefits in terms of value, the plastic produced is fully biodegradable, which means that it does not decompose into microplastics and it can act as a fertilizer when decomposed. Plastic solution which leads to soil and water pollution by plastic and microplastics could be solved. And because there's not yet a company in Peninsular Malaysia managed to fully implement biodegradable plastics, therefore, Lotus fame can be boasted as one of the first to fully implement biodegradable plastic in Peninsular Malaysia.
I will continue on talking about the benefit from reward systems. So the benefit in terms of cost included the fact that the mechanisms of reward system can induce the desires of customers to obtain the vouchers. And thus, the cost of giving vouchers is less significant than the income generated. So as human beings, they would like to take advantage in terms of getting benefits. Hence, they will be more active in these reward systems. So this can eventually increase their daily sales as well as the productivity change toward Lotus' own production item as well. So consequently, less usage of roller plastic will reduce the cost of purchasing and productions of roller plastic. So as far as the benefits in terms of value, the reward systems can reduce the numbers of roller plastic taken per family. So from this, Lotus will be able to achieve their goal by reducing the consumptions of roller plastic.
And in our discussion, we actually came up with some other approaches, but eventually we just rejected this approach because there are some disadvantages that come along with this approach that we have think of. Firstly, we have thought of replacing all single-use roller plastic into biodegradable plastic. However, we rejected this approach because most of the biodegradable plastic used nowadays still contains a certain amount of petroleum. This means that when we are decomposing them, they will be degraded into microplastic, which is the main contributing factor to the microplastic pollution. Moreover, biodegradable plastic cannot handle heavy weight because of its weak elasticity. This means that the customer will simply take more roller plastic to balance out the weight. And this does not align with the goal that we want, which is reduce the consumption rate of roller plastic. As for the packaging, we also think of the paper packaging and reusable packaging. Then the reason why we rejected paper packaging is because most of the And it's because most of the paper packaging can be torn apart easily. And this means that it cannot handle heavy objects. And the most notable weakness of paper packaging is that paper packaging wasn't suitable for watery items like fish or meats, since the paper will become weak and tear apart easily. And besides that, producing paper packaging also means consuming more resource, as more trees would have to be cut down to produce more paper. As for why we choose to reject reusable packaging, it's because reusable packaging are costly and they are not portable friendly for customers who buy a lot. Moreover, this reusable packaging need to be clean because the fresh products like fish, meats, and potato might dirty the packaging. So this approach is actually quite inconvenient for the customers, and that is why we rejected this approach.
As for the approaches through actions, by simply limiting the number of plastics might raise displeasure among customers, especially when they buy many fresh products. Let's put yourself in the customer's shoes. Imagine buying products in Lotus and yet the number of plastics you can use is limited. And therefore, this might cause the loss of customers. And besides that, there's a number of digital self-service counters for some Lotus grocery stores. Hence, this is not a workable way. And by just shrinking the size of a roller plastics is troublesome for customers that buys a lot. Customer will simply take more plastic back just to meet their needs. And hence the roller plastic consumption rate will be still high. That's all from our presentation. Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much. Group 60, right?
Yes.
Okay, right. So I kind of miss I think the first two slides. Okay. Okay, but what I understand is the root cause that or the problem that you're going to solve is to reduce the roll plastics, right?
Yes.
Okay, all right. So okay, and the suggestion is to replace with a biodegradable plastic from the microalgae. Is it true?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Okay. So okay, so I understand, okay, the root cause, okay, of your group, okay, the one that you choose. Okay, however, I would like to ask you, the biodegradable plastic from microalgae, so how do you think that to sustain the production of this kind or this type of the bioplastics from microalgae?
So thank you for the question. It is because that we have already looked through many research and some real life example, and there have been many successful cases that the company have used the microalgae to produce plastic. It's because the plastic they actually are very organic and they're fibrous, and for how to maintaining them, actually they just build a nutrient pond and then just let them cultivate the algae there, because algae just need nutrients, water, and air to survive. And they just they can reproduce rapidly. So it actually is quite easy to maintain. We just left it there and they will reproduce by themselves.
Okay. So that is what we call the raw, okay, of the material to produce the plastic from microalgae. Okay, did you come across on the capacity that they can produce this kind of biodegradable plastic?
We have thank you for the question. We have looked through some those companies who have used microalgae to produce plastic, and we have discovered some of them are using microalgae plastic to produce sports shoes. This means that because the sports shoe requires more plastic than a single roller plastic. So this means that it actually can produce quite many as long as there is sufficient amount of microalgae, which is not a big task because it can produce easily.
Okay. The other judge, you may also ask a question.
Yes, that's right. Hi,
okay.
Good morning.
Interrupt. You may
it's okay. Yeah, hi, good morning. Thank you so much for sharing your microalgae proposition. Well done. You did share a little bit about rewards in terms of customers. So that's really great that you thought that far. Now, I would want to understand how, have you actually come to thought, how would we promote this or encourage this? Because we're talking about behavioral change. So maybe have you ever thought in terms of beyond just rewards, how do we get to there before we actually do reward the customers?
Thank you for your question. We actually thought about this because, and we think that actually many customers are very susceptible to reward system because even now Lotus has already like undergo many point change system, which means that the customer can actually very adapted to the reward system that we just published newly. And as for how we are going to apply this reward system, we actually thought of like having a separated area for the fresh produce area so that there won't be any trouble like cheating or whatever because everything will be solved at the fresh produce area. And there is the cashier there, everyone will be able to pay there and the cashier will just be able to like count how many money that they have used and the amount of roller plastic that they have used. So everything will be solved at a separated area. So there wasn't anything to worry about in terms of cheating.
Okay. I have another question. You mentioned earlier microalgae. I mean, there are companies that are using it in terms of sporting shoes and all that. Have you explored if there is this possibility in Malaysia itself in terms of a company that can produce materials out of microalgae or plastic specifically?
In Malaysia, we found that the example is not in Malaysia, it's overseas. It's a company called Bloom, and what the scientist is called Ryan Han, who he managed to find the condition that the algae, protein-rich algae managed to plasticization undergo the process.
Okay. Do we still have time? Committee?
Yes, doctor.
Oh, okay, all right.
Another 2 minutes.
Okay, one more question from me. All right, so microalgae. So what do you think if you compare to other what we call other big biodegradable plastics, okay, from starch, for example, or any kind of synthetic biodegradable plastics, okay, in terms of its first one is sustainability, because I'm quite worried on that one. The other one is in terms of costing.
Thank you for the question. Actually, in terms of costing, we would many of them have said that it wasn't very expensive to maintain the microalgae production farm. Because microalgae already itself is very quite elastic and it has many fiber and it also contains a certain amount of starch from the research that we have looked into. So we also thought about other approaches like maybe bacteria or otherwise, but we thought that the microalgae is more organic because we won't need to like constantly feed the bacteria or whatever. We just need to leave it there as long as there's nutrients, water and sunlight, air, and it will automatically reproduce itself. So it is actually quite convenient, easy, and very sustainable because it can produce by itself. We just need to like process it a little bit and then we can just make some biodegradable plastic.
Okay, all right. So I would like to add on, okay, the statement, it can produce by itself. Okay, it's actually you are producing the what we call the monomer itself. Okay, so it still have to undergo another process. For example, biofilms, machinery, and all those to produce the one that you said, what we call, you propose is a roll plastic, right? It means that it's a thin sheet plastics, all right? So it will, it has to undergo another process, okay, to get the thin sheet plastic. Okay, so just to add on that part. Okay, Miss Hafiza, right? Oh, sorry, Miss Zakia. Is there any more questions?
Yeah, you just one last one from me. You mentioned that it is in a sense biodegradable, right? When the customers bring it back to their homes, have you given a thought in terms of how it would easily be recycled, or because you mentioned earlier that it can be turned into compost, if I'm not mistaken. Is that what you mentioned?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So have you thought about how, in the end, when it reaches the homes of the customers, how they can, how they can recycle that, or how it later breaks down into reusable materials again?
Actually, we have looked into a research, and it says that since the biodegradable plastic made of microalgae is actually organic by itself, this means that it can fully decompose. And they say that by decomposing it into a soil, it can actually act as a fertilizer. So it means that maybe we can just tell the customer, if they want to throw away, they can just instead put it into a soil and to be used as a fertilizer for the plants. And this will also reduce the plastic throwing rate at the tempat
In Malaysia.
pelupusan.
In Malaysia.
Okay, so what you're saying is that we can actually do it at home on our own, rather than having to send it to a recycling plant, for example.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, no further questions from me. Prof? Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, group 60. Okay, well done.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Group GoGo Plus Green, with a good impact of ideas that filled creativity, knowledge, and innovation. Let's keep the energy high and continue supporting each other as we started on this great intellectual journey. Thank you again, Group GoGo Plus Green. Let's move to the second group, Powerpuff Girls from SMK Bandar Baru, Salak Tinggi. The floor is yours, and you may start now.
Hi. Hello. Can you hear us?
But it'll be better if it will be a bit louder.
Okay. All right. Let us share our screen first. Give us a moment, please.
We can hear you.
Powerpuff Girls, can you unmute?
We are having difficulty sharing our screen. I'm so sorry.
Okay, I'll give you another 2 minutes. If not, I will share the screen.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Ask them to share the screen? No, they said give us 2 minutes. Where is it? Can you see our screen now? Wait, no, we're not.
Yes, we can see your screen.
Yes, all right. Hello everyone. We are from Power Girls and we are from SMK Bandar Baru Salak Ningki. So today we are talking about the product that we came up with. So our main point is that we are focusing on roller bags and that in meats, veggies and fruits section, and also Power Girls are proposing a sustainable idea whereby containers are being introduced. So we are talking about the needs. So why do we need plastic in fresh food area? At present, we can see that consumers use the roller bags even they know the cost, where it actually harms the environment and the dependency at plastic and the plastic increase.
Hi, I'm Caitlin, and I will be presenting our approach. Our team is proposing that we use containers as a replacement. To do this, we are also proposing that plastic bag rollers are to be removed at stages. This can help customers adjust to change and encourage customers to stop using plastic altogether. As you all know, plastic is still plastic. So no matter how green it is, it will still end up in our dump site. It also leaves carbon footprints. Therefore, we propose that consumers use containers when they pack fresh food. Lotus can help encourage this by selling the containers at like a minimum cost, and in the long run, both parties benefits. They can do this by using promoters, banners, flyers, television ads, or even in-store announcements. Now, you may ask about the food that are unable to be packed in containers. We can also give options. As I mentioned earlier, plastic bags are being removed at stages at the same time. So at the same time, Lotus can sell reusable cloth bags and beeswax wraps, again, at a very minimum cost to encourage its customers. Remember, customers can be creative. Food such as onions can be wrapped in reusable bags. I would also like to add on that these containers can be reused over and over again. So we are encouraging Lotus customers to be more sustainable. In our third slide, to further encourage customers to use sustainable containers, they can also award customers with loyalty points or vouchers to all the customers who support Lotus in their efforts to eradicate plastic every time by bringing their own containers or reusable cloth bags to pack food. This is a win-win situation for both parties.
Hello, I'm the third speaker, and I will be talking about the benefits. By paying attention to areas as small as the fresh food area where plastic is consumed, by taking action in this area, it builds a sustainable corporate image for Lotus. And Lotus can also claim the 70% tax income if they take eco-friendly action, also known as the green tax incentive in Malaysia. And secondly, it instills responsibility to care for the earth. It encourages people to really care for the earth. Okay, on to the loyalty points. It encourages customers to visit Lotus store again, and this is how Lotus can maintain returning customers, and loyalty points will be compensated by more returning customers. Competition. Okay, our first competition is biodegradable plastic. Biodegradable plastic doesn't get rid of the dependency on plastic because it is still plastic. And most of the biodegradable plastic, if it's not recycled correctly, it will end up in landfill. Okay. Our next competition, paper bags. Paper bags produce a lot of carbon footprint and are not durable for like wet food, and they're not very strong. Okay. I think that's all.
I think that's all.
No, the conclusion.
Okay, so the conclusion is that our proposal is the best proposal because we do not produce any plastic. Therefore, we reduce our carbon footsteps. We are forcing people to be responsible consumers by bringing their own containers and reusable bags. More than that, the materials for the containers can also be made out of glass and LDPE4, which is for the containers like such as Tupperware and Ebon. Depends on your budget and your preferences. Lotus can also do a collaboration with other brands such as Ebon or Tupperware to save money and also get more benefits from it. These people will be uncomfortable by not having plastic, but sure, we understand. But in the long run, they can overcome it. As an analogy, such as MCO and COVID-19, we can slowly adapt to containers and reusable bags instead of plastics. That's all.
Thank you
Thank
for
you, sir.
hearing us. Do you guys have any questions?
Thank you very much, Powerpuff Girl. Okay. I like your confidence level. Okay. Especially on your conclusion part. All right. Okay. So anyway, well done. Okay. For a very good presentations. Okay. You are clearly what we call identify, okay, the problems and the solutions that you are going to propose. Okay, so replacing, right?
Our slogan is actually
We replace, reuse.
Sorry,
Lotus,
replace and reuse.
Yes.
Okay, all right. So you even have a motto, okay? All right, so that's good. Okay, so all right. Okay, my first question is all right, I understand, okay, your proposal, okay. So meaning that the customers have to bring their own, or they can also purchase from Lotus, right? The disposable containers and all those, okay. So what do you think in terms of sustainability of that kind of container? And what do you think also in terms of how many of the containers, for example, yeah, you know, if the customers, okay, would like to purchase, for example, for 2 weeks, what we call household groceries and all those, okay. So how to sustain and how to convince the customer so they will accept this kind of proposal?
The containers will, of course, will be reused, right? So if you buy a lot of containers at once, it will still be reused, and then you can still come and use
the same containers. And how do we promote this thing is that we can use like promoters, banners, flyers, televisions, and in-store announcement. And we can also we can use reusable bags or trolley to bring to the car
because I understand that bringing too many containers in one hand or two hands could be tedious, right? So we propose that we use reusable cloth bags to carry them, because nowadays customers at Lotus or anywhere around this world, they put tote bags in their cars to carry the groceries. So we propose that we put the containers in said tote bags to carry it around. If they do not have tote bags, Lotus can provide trolleys. They do, right? So we can put the containers in the trolley and bring it to their vehicles.
Okay, so okay, Ms. Zakia, you may also interrupt. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
Well.
Okay. Yes, please.
Sorry. Go ahead, Prof.
Okay. One more question: how to convince your the customers of Lotus, especially, so that they buy this idea?
This is it's in the, as you can see in our slides. In our slides, can you still see our slides? You can still see our slides, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I know. These are the how to promote banners and all those. However, to convince people, okay, it's very hard sometimes.
It takes time, and we believe that practice makes perfect. So we could slowly encourage them step by step, and I'm pretty sure in a few years or so, everyone will adapt to the practice. It opens up a path, for new lifestyle changes. So they have to take a step now. Yeah, it is vital that we take the step now so that we can save the earth.
Okay.
Okay, Ms. Zakia,
Okay.
yes, please.
Yeah, good. So I have a question continuing from that. Since you came up with the purchasing through container, so is this idea inspired from something that you and your family already practice?
Actually,
Yes.
yeah, we actually do.
And actually, I feel like most people don't think of bringing containers to the fresh food area because nobody does it. So by providing this, it gives a new idea for people. It really makes people think, oh, I can use containers instead of using plastic. And this can also bring to other places, other life.
Okay.
More
Like
more
areas.
people use, the more people will be like, oh, wow, that's such a good idea. We need to follow that.
Okay. So have you given a thought in terms of how Lotus would have to make some certain adjustments in the fresh area or in the supermarket itself to
Yes.
adjust to this requirement?
Yes, they'll have to add an area for the containers and also have promoters there so people will be interested in it. So yeah.
Next to the containers, we could put the tote bags and the beeswax wrappers. In fact, we were actually inspired by the Americans because we came across TikToks that promote their beeswax wraps. And like in Trader Joe's, they bring their own containers. We were inspired by both of those. And we feel like it's a good practice for us Malaysians also.
Some environmentalists in the US, they come to Trader Joe's and then they put their nuts in the containers. I feel like we can do that too with fruits and veggies.
Okay. So that means what you're saying is that perhaps there is a possibility of making some adjustments because I think Trader Joe's specializes in that where they weigh as well, right? So you're saying that something similar would have to be a setup where it's a refillable counter, for example, that needs to be placed in the stores for certain loose items?
Yes, because we want to do everything that we can to eradicate plastic entirely. Because even if we come up with a solution like biodegradable plastics, and if we don't take care of our landfills, those biodegradable plastics will end up in the landfills and it'll still harm the environment either way. So that's why we feel like all plastic should be eradicated. It may not be as fast as you think, but we plan to take it slowly, step by step.
Okay, Prof, any questions from you?
I think no more.
Yes.
Calvin, do we still have time?
Sorry,
Calvin, I asked the committee.
We still have
2 minutes.
3 more minutes.
Okay.
So any questions from the other team?
Right. So I have another thing is you mentioned something about rewards. Right? So, how would you suggest the mechanism of rewards would be for, let's say, take, for example, yourself or your family. So you bring in a container. So what do you suggest for Lotus to do in terms of rewarding customers who bring in their own containers?
Lotus have been doing this loyalty points for years. So if they buy more than 200 ringgit, they will get some free stuff. So we changed that into bringing containers. We will get at least a voucher or a free gift. So the loyalty points, you collect them, and once you collect them enough, you can get a free gift, such as a pen or anything. What mom doesn't want that, right?
Maybe a limited edition Tupperware thing that every parent would love to show off. Oh my God, look what I did, look what I got.
It's also easier because people do groceries twice a month. So people regularly. And if people remember to bring the vouchers, they'll get the vouchers pretty easily like that.
Yeah, perhaps a free recycle container.
Yeah.
Not only vouchers, we can also do food stamps. I heard in America, they also provide food stamps. So the customers can also use the food stamp to use it in their purchases so that the cost will be very cheap.
Okay, I mean, it's possible. I mean, Lotus does have points rewards where customers can actually utilize the points to pay for their purchases. So you do actually enjoy some value and some benefits and cost saving there as well. Okay, so I have a question again.
Okay.
Since you got time. So
Yeah.
how long will it take for you to change your habits and your behavior to convince your family to actually shop and use containers?
Actually, if it's always there and if it's always there and the option is always there with the promoters and stuff, I'll always remember and I'll start implementing it in my life. So I think I can do it, and
Okay,
everyone
good.
should do it too.
Never too late to start, girls.
Yes.
Yes.
I'll see you in Lotus using your containers.
Yes. I mean, like, this gen, like, they are influenced a lot. Like, they are
This
following the
generation.
trend. I feel like nowadays, since we have the use of social media, we can use that to our advantage. Last time in the 80s, all they had was radios, and not many people had radios. And I heard that at least 8 billion phones were produced. So it's possible that everyone, whether it be phones or television, they would have heard of such a thing. So if we promote it around the world and we made it in some sort of a TikTok trend or YouTube shorts, people are gonna be like, wow, that's a good trend. Oh my god, I should follow it.
Yeah.
And then maybe celebrity stars will join in, and who knows, this thing might become so big that Lotus will become like the most popular
For
outlet,
starting this trend,
the most eco-friendliest, popular. They're gonna love it.
nothing is impossible.
It's time for me and Professor to get onto TikTok.
Yeah. We have to join you guys.
Don't be scared, drop your TikTok username, we'll be your first followers.
Okay. All right. So I think is that all, Miss Zakia? Okay.
Yes, that's right. Thank you so much, girls.
Yeah. Well done.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Do we leave now?
No, you don't leave.
Oh, sorry.
Don't leave now. Just off the camera.
Okay.
To the remarkable members of Powerpuff Girls, you girls were so confident. I extend my deepest gratitude for the incredible impact you have made. Your collective creativity, knowledge, and innovation have enriched our intellectual journey beyond measure. Thank you, Powerpuff Girls, for your invaluable contribution and unwavering support. Next, we have the exceptional member of Modest Peacock from College Vocational Typing, as I invite your group to take the center stage. Let your voices be heard and your brilliance shine through. Modest Peacock, you can start sharing.
Hello. Wait, I'm gonna put on the slide.
Okay, sure.
Oh. Okay. There appears to be some issues on my end. Wait.
Guys, please unmute before.
Hello.
talking.
Sorry.
Okay.
My laptop just crashed, so I apologize.
All right, you can rename your name also. It's actually that's my name.
Sorry.
Okay, thank you.
Can you see my screen? I think there's an issue here on my end. Can you share the slide?
Okay, we can see it now.
Oh, you can see it? Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to begin my presentation. Okay. Assalamualaikum and good morning, everyone. First of all, I would like to thank the NaSIC committee for making this event possible and appreciate Lotus for being here. We are from College Vocational Taiping. My name is Adib Dawisha. I'm the one make the presentation. For our presenter will be Liana Irina, and lastly, our group leader is Adam Fitri. We are three of us. We are modest speaker. Without wasting any time, we are going to straight to the problem. Our main objective is Lotus want us to know how can we reduce the use of single-use plastic that is used in the fresh produce area that come in roller bag for customer to use to pack their vegetable, fruit, and many more. Firstly, we have to understand what type of plastic is being used in roller bag. Roller bag are made from HDPE or high density polyethylene. It's a versatile and widely used material due to its excellent physical property. For example, HDPE has high strength of density ratio, making it strong, durable against impact. However, there are downsides to using HDPE. Firstly, HDPE is a non-biodegradable plastic made from petroleum. Because it's non-biodegradable, this plastic will slowly accumulate, causing harm to the wildlife and the environment. Secondly, HDPE is non-compostable that will lead plastic to be disintegrated into smaller pieces, forming the microplastic and could harm the environment. And lastly, HDPE is susceptible to stress cracking when exposed to the certain condition. Even though it's known for its strength and durability, it can still experience stress cracking under specific circumstances. So our solution is solving this problem by replacing rollback with PLA container. I will give it to Liana Irina. Okay, thank you. Liana, are you there?
Hello.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. We can hear you.
All right. I'm sorry. My mistake. Okay. Hi, my name is Liana Edina. I will continue the presentation. So you may ask why would you replace rollbacks with PLA containers? First of all, PLA or polylactic acid is made from a renewable source that was derived from plant-based sources such as sugarcane and cornstarch. The reason why we choose PLA is because of the properties that came with it. Secondly, PLA being made from a renewable source, it is considered to be biodegradable and environmentally friendly with proper conditions. PLA can break down into water, carbon dioxide, and so reducing the impact we had on the environment. Thirdly, the production of PLA requires lower energy consumption, which also reduce carbon footprint because it generated fewer greenhouse gas emission compared to other petroleum-based plastic. After that, PLA can also be reduced to be transparent and glows, resembling clear plastics. This could provide a clear display of the products and visibility of contents. Lastly, PLA helps us to reduce the use of petroleum-based materials, which are limited resources that we use on a daily basis. After that, you might be asking, what are the benefits of using PLA container? There are multiple benefits using PLA that could benefit the company, customer, supplier, and the community. First of all, Lotus will be the first to adopt PLA to show its commitment to sustainability and environmental responsibility. This could increase the company's reputation and can attract environmentally conscious, different from other competitors who still rely on packaging. After that, suppliers who are offering PLA can production capacity and drive innovation in the field of sustainable materials with in-stock credits if they use PLA instead of plastic. This could encourage customers to be more conscious of prioritizing eco-friendly products and packaging. Customers can feel confident that products packaged in PLA are free from potential health risks associated with certain plastic materials. Lastly, PLA being biodegradable helps to reduce plastic waste in landfill and ocean. This contributes to a cleaner and healthier environment of the community. Okay, I'm gonna leave this stage and move to Adam to continue the presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Lena, for that. For the presentation. Now I'm going to lead the presentation. So now that we know the benefits of PLA, that is polylactic acid, but we also need to consider the competition against PLA. Firstly, we have paper bags. Paper bag is an alternative way to replace roller bags. But however, paper bags can tear or break more easily, especially when exposed to moisture or heavy loads. Secondly, we have bamboo bags. Bamboo bags can also be an alternative to PLA containers, but however, the cost of producing it is more expensive compared to other reusable bag options. Thirdly, we got cotton bags. Cotton bags are biodegradable and decompostable naturally over time. However, cotton bags are prone to shrinkage and wrinkling when exposed to high heat or not properly handled when washing or drying. This can affect their appearance and make them more difficult to fold or store neatly. And lastly, we have mesh bags. Mesh bags can also be an alternative to PLA containers, but however, they have limited protection against physical damage and exposure to external elements. In conclusion, using PLA containers as a replacement for roller bags in Lotus fresh produce area offers numerous advantages, while there are alternative options such as paper bags, bamboo fiber bags, cotton bags, and mesh bags. Each has its own limitation. Considering the advantages of PLA containers, their positive impact on the environment, and the benefits they bring to the company, customer, suppliers, and the community, it is clear that PLA is a compelling solution for Lotus to reduce the use of single-use plastic in the fresh produce era. I think that is all from us. Thank you for listening, and I hope you have a wonderful day. These are the references that are used for this presentation.
Okay, thank you very much, Group 73. Okay. Okay, so well done, okay, for your very well presentations, okay. So my first questions, okay, would be, okay, you are proposing to use the PLA container, right? To the
Yes.
Lotus. Okay, so why do you choose PLA container instead of any other material or any other types of container?
For us, PLA containers, it's because of its properties. Like, first of all, it's biodegradable, compostable. It's good for the environment because with under specific conditions, PLA can disintegrate
Hmm?
disintegrate under specific conditions. Like, naturally, it can be returned back to the soil, and it can turn into water and carbon dioxide.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you are saying that this kind of container have to be purchased by the customers?
Yeah, it can be prepared or it can be provided by Lotus. Depends on both of them. Depends which one is the best.
So meaning that the customer is also allowed to bring their own container, right?
Yes.
Okay. So must it a PLA container only to be brought by the customer, or they can bring any other type of the container? Sorry.
Depends. If they wanted to bring the PLA, if they bring PLA containers, they would get in-store credit provided by Lotus because it is good for the environment. If they use other containers that other than PLA, they will be provided in-store credits, but won't be provided much than using PLA containers.
Okay, so there will be special credits or some kind
Yeah, it would be a specific
for the PLA container only. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, go. So can you explain again on how to educate people or customers, okay, so that they are aware on this proposal?
So how we can educate customers is by reducing the use of single-use plastic, like replacing the roller bags with PLA containers, so we can have that environmental conscious of our customers. So customers would be more eco-friendly and be more careful next time when they use single-use plastic.
Okay. What do you think on the perhaps acceptance of the people or acceptance of the customers? Do they be happy, okay, with these kinds of proposal?
I think it will take some time, but I'm sure this will make changing the environment.
Okay. Okay, Ms. Zakia, you may also ask the questions.
Hi guys, well done on your presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So by suggesting PLA, are you aware or in your research whether this product is currently available in market in Malaysia itself?
There are some companies that are advertising PLA at Malaysia right now. So if Lotus want to collaborate with them, they can have a long-term partnership with them and they can provide PLA containers for Lotus.
Okay, so in terms of durability, because these packages are biodegradable, in a sense they're made out of feedstocks and things like that, right? Like starch or sugarcane you were mentioning. Have you also looked into the durability of the use? Because as customers, they tend to want to be able to use, because you were suggesting that they purchase, right? Or we provide in terms of we sell it perhaps in our stores. So have you given a thought in terms of how long these packages or durability of these packages can be reused before customers would eventually no longer use it?
If customers don't want to use PLA containers, they can return it to Lotus actually. So Lotus can recycle it, so it can make so they can make the PLA container. And the durability on PLA containers is not strong, but strong at the same time. So that means that depends on if you pick up fruits, vegetables, all other containers, it's okay. But if you if you like fish or chicken, if there's moisture or water contact with PLA, in naturally over time the PLA will cannot be used again because it would make the food spoil.
Okay, so that means what you're saying is that your PLA containers, your proposal would be more suited for dry, fresh produce rather than wet, fresh produce?
Yes.
So apart from you suggested earlier in terms of sell the product, the packaging itself in the store, have you given it a thought of a different mechanism other than selling?
We can try promoting it like the suggestion from Team Powerpuff Girl. The idea of promoting the product using TikTok or YouTube Shorts is a wonderful idea actually. We can advertise it using TikTok, YouTube Shorts, maybe Facebook. Maybe we can advertise it using ads. Depends. We can prepare banners like in front of Lotus so we can advertise the PLA containers, their benefits, their advantages, their uses.
Okay.
And that's it, I think.
Okay, well, it's a good presentation. Thank you for sharing your ideas. I don't have any further questions for now, but well done, guys.
Okay, yes. Thank you very much. Okay, group 73. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank
Good
you.
job. Okay.
I hope you guys will have a wonderful day.
You too.
I want to express my heartfelt appreciation to Morris Peacock for their remarkable ideas that have ignited through our intellectual journey with a brilliant spark of creativity, knowledge, and innovation. Your collective efforts had a profound impact on our shared growth and development. Thank you again, Morris Peacock, for being an integral part of this extraordinary journey. Next, ladies and gentlemen, let us turn on the attention to the incredible members of Blitz from MRSM Kubang Pasu. It is with great eagerness we await your presentation. This is your moment to leave a lasting impact and showcase the depth of your knowledge. Blitz, the floor is yours.
Okay. Hi, we are going to share screen now.
Okay, sure.
All right, can you see the slide?
Yes, we can.
Hello and good morning to all judges, timekeepers, and beloved audiences. We are Team Blitz from MRSM Kubang Pasu, presenting to all about the single-use plastic in Lotus. But first, let me introduce ourselves. My name is Nadia, and I am the second member of the team. This is Abdul Muhaimin, and he is our group leader, while Iman is the first member of the team. And this, as you can see, is our advisor, Puan Siti Marza binti Muhammad Dani. Now, let us continue with some introduction about the usage of single-use plastic in Lotus. Starting from July 1st, 2021, Lotus has banned the usage of single-use plastic on counters in all stores in Malaysia to achieve the goal of sustainable development. Lotus has also come out with new alternatives, which include biodegradable packaging for 65% of its product. However, single-use plastic is still being used in fresh produce area in the form of roller bag and wrapper to wrap and pick vegetables and fruits in Lotus. So, why do Lotus do this? This is to ensure the quality and freshness of the fresh produce to customer. However,
This leads to plastic waste in the environment. Therefore, we have come out with solutions to align the waste management hierarchy, circular economy, and contribute to United Nations Sustainability Development Goals by identifying several problem statements regarding usage of single-use plastic in fresh produce area in Lotus, Malaysia, and providing long-term solution to solve the issue of single-use plastic. I will hand this to Iman for further explanation.
All right. So moving on, for this problem, we have provided a solution, and we have also make sure the solution are costly, it is sustainable for the environment, and can be mass-produced at large scale. Our solution is to use the potential of Nephidium lepicium, also known as rambutan seed. We are going to extract the seed starch in order to create a bioplastic product that is long-lasting and decayable. So, for the first step of the making of bioplastic product by rambutan seed starch is to first extract the starch by soaking the seed in 2% of sodium sulfate solution for 2 hours, for 72 hours to break down the cell wall in order to extract the starch. Then, we will mill it, the starch, followed by sieving it and decantation. After that, we proceed with washing, centrifugate, and air dry it. This is to make sure that pure rambutan seed starch is extracted without any impurities. Then, after the starch has dried, the weight and the density is measured. The starch is then used to produce a bioplastic film. To ensure the film is strong enough, it needs to be tested for the tensile strength and biodegradability. Based on the experiment conducted on the biodegradability, which is a soil test, result shows a maximum of 12 days before the bioplastic is fully degraded in any kind of soil. Based on the result, the starch extracted was 135.1 grams from the original mass of 723.4 grams of rambutan seeds. This result can give us a total mean yield of 20%. From the tensile strength test, the computed strength for the bioplastic film is 1,296.875 PA. A soak test is also conducted to measure the water uptake. Based on the result, the density of the bioplastic product is 1.29 grams per centimeter cubic before soaking it in water, and after soaking it in water for 6 hours, the density measured is 1.4 grams per centimeter cubic, increasing the water uptake by 10%. Now I will bring this next slide to Amin.
All right, thank you very much for Iman for explaining to us the method and the result from extracting the rambutan seed. Now, I shall explain the benefit of all plastic to the audience. First of all, rambutan contain antioxidants that help protect the plastic polymers from oxidation. This extends the plastic tensile strength and durability. This allows the plastic produced to be strong and durable enough to wrap the plastic and to remain being stored for an amount of time while being degradable and compostable. Why? This is due to the plastic being created from rambutan starch. It is an organic compound, therefore, it is able to be composed in any kind of soil. In fact, the customer can just compose the plastic wrapper and roller right away after purchasing it by simply just placing it in their garden soil and allowing it to be composed. Other than that, rambutan seeds are easy to come by and inexpensive to purchase. Although rambutans are a seasonal fruit, research has shown that 96,500 tons of rambutan seed and rambutan itself go to unused and did not enter the market every single year from Malaysia, Indonesia, and Thailand due to the rambutan itself being unable to sell due to its low quality. But due to our research using only the rambutan seed, we are able to use the rambutan seed from all of this rambutan to produce the plastic, ensuring that there are a large amount of supply of rambutan seed every single year to allow us to produce the plastic. From our research, it has also shown that rambutan contain nearly the same amount of starch compared to potato starch, allowing for mass production of our plastic to be feasible in the later run. Now, moving on, our team has settled down on our project by using rambutan starch as our biodegradable plastic. Although there are other methods, we reject those methods due to a few reasons. One of the few methods that we reject is by using paper bag. We reject this method due to it simply not being sustainable due to the large amount of tree needed to be cut to produce the amount of paper bag needed to supply the entirety of the Lotus store across Malaysia. Other than that, paper bags are also prone to damage from tearing and moisture. We have seen from our experience in daily life how paper bags are very flimsy and so easy to tear apart. So therefore, it's simply not optimal for us to use paper bag for wrapping and for storing our fresh produce. Other than that, we also reject other methods of biodegradable plastic such as PLA. Why? It's because from our research, it's shown that to produce PLA is require mono farming, which is the farming of only a single type of farm across large plantation. That is not sustainable in the long term, and the farm is prone to being diseased. Therefore, it's not suitable to use as it does not follow the sustainable development goal that United Nations has produced. Other than that, other biodegradable plastics such as PLA itself does not completely degrade, instead turning into nanoplastic and causing nanoplastic pollution across our land instead. Other type of biodegradable plastic such as biodegradable plastic created from cornstarch, as I said earlier, require large plantation of corn in order to produce the large amount of cornstarch needed to produce the plastic. This in turn will cause hidden carbon footprint due to the large amount of energy, cost, and material to raise and to transport the corn throughout into Malaysia and to produce itself. Our team has also once thought about providing container and cloth bag as an alternative to roller bag and plastic wrap. But from our research, it's shown that cloth bags are prone to moisture, and the fresh produce area is full of moisture due to it being organic and from fruit and vegetable. Therefore, it's not feasible. Cloth bags also require large amount of energy and cost to produce. While containers are expensive to produce in large amount for all stock. And customer may also abuse the container and the cloth bag provided. We know there are some Malaysians who, if we provided cloth bag and container at supermarket, they'll simply take it, use it, and they'll return back to take it even though they have already taken the cloth bag and container. That is expensive and not sustainable at all. So this is the reference that we use in order for our research. That is all. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Very interesting presentation, well thought through. Well done, guys. So it is good and interesting that you are actually suggesting a material that is obviously very much available in Malaysia itself. So I would want to know, so what you're saying is that it still comes in a form of roller bags. Is that what you're saying? So it's still soft plastics. That means it's just the material is made out of rambutan seeds itself, is it?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So so in terms of the material itself, the content, I mean, have you managed to sort of in your research and understand or come about the feasibility of collecting the raw materials to develop these plastics? I mean, this rambutan seed fibers?
I'm sorry, could you repeat the question?
In terms of feasibility of collecting the raw materials, have you actually come about seeing the possibility of, because you mentioned earlier that these easily access, right? These the components of the soft plastic that you're suggesting. Do you foresee that it is something based on your research is easy to gather? Because you did mention it's also seasonal, so.
Well, it is because from our research and from my studying of the rambutan seed, because rambutan farm are normally on the highway, and therefore, for our team, we thought that Lotus could cooperate with all these rambutan farm to send off their unused rambutan or unsellable rambutan due to it being poor quality and all and not being able to sell, and transport them to a production center where the rambutan will then be stored. And due to the large amount of rambutan not being used every single year from our slide earlier, 96,500 tons of unused rambutan every single year. So therefore, there will be a large supply that can be stored in a storage center until it's required to be produced.
Okay, so so now have you given it a thought in terms of how we can, because it's such an interesting, let's say the material itself is interesting itself, right? So have you given, as a team, have you given a thought of how we could talk about this to customers or promote this to customers to get them encouraged? Because your suggestion is already, it will be made available. So that means Lotus is already offering it as roller bags, right? But did you give a thought in terms of how we could market this this product itself? When I say market, more about talk about it, because you're suggesting it is a sustainable made product. So how would you, like, say, if you were in our position, how would you want to talk about it?
So first of all, the customer in Malaysia has already known Lotus as a company that is taking one of the big steps in sustainability and sustainable development goals. Lotus is very well known throughout Malaysia for its position in the sustainability. So therefore, in my opinion, the customer will readily accept the research development and the new roller plastic, because Lotus itself has implemented this sort of tactic before by banning the usage of single-use plastic, offering biodegradable and sustainable packaging in its products. And furthermore, customer has already supported this action before.
Prof, any questions from you, Prof?
Okay, all right. Thank you very much. Okay, this group. Okay, yes, indeed, I agree with Ms. Zakia. Very interesting, okay, because you are proposing to use the rambutan seeds, okay? And you are also comparing with other what we call starch-based materials, all right? So again, I would like to add on the questions, all right? Have you come across to any company that already been, or this kind of material already been established, or what we call produced? This kind of rambutan seeds plastic base, or only from the research?
Now, the rambutan seed, the plastic made from rambutan seeds, are still in research project and has not been adapted to any company usage yet.
Okay. Okay. And then I think just now you are comparing as well with potato starch, right? So what do you think especially the durability of this kind of rambutan-based plastic as compared to other plastic made from potato, for example, or cornstarch, which have already been used worldwide as a raw material? What do you think on that?
All right, so based on our research earlier, as shown in the slide, first off, the rambutan seed and starch itself contain antioxidant that can help against polymer oxidation. That in turn already extend and increase the rambutan plastic durability and tensile strength. Other than that, from our research, it has been shown that the rambutan plastic offer the same amount of tensile strength and durability as other biodegradable plastic in the market.
Okay. Okay, so in terms of what we call the contribution of Lotus, perhaps in future, if the idea will buy by Lotus, okay. So I think before this, you suggested what we call unsell, okay. The rambutan that cannot be sold, okay, has to be sent to Lotus. How about, for example, the manufacturer, what we call, who can the rambutan base, whatever that product and all. I think that also might be a very easier way, okay, to get this kind of raw material. Other than we have to send the not what we call the unsell rambutan itself. What do you think? For example, pineapple canes or something like a factory that produce the rambutan base, manufacturing something like a food product so that you can use the seeds to be sent or to be produced as a plastic-based material.
Could you please kindly repeat the question?
Okay. Okay. What I mean is, okay, before this, you are suggesting that for the unsell rambutan to be sent to Lotus, right? To produce this plastic-based rambutan seed. Okay. So how about other than the unsell, okay? For example, the factory that produce a rambutan-based can product, for example. So that would be a very easier way to get this kind of rambutan seeds.
I see. I agree with the suggestion. Perhaps it was not taught in the slide, but our team has also thought about this idea for due to the rambutan seed in the plantation is seasonal, and sometimes if the rambutan in our country only produce rambutan twice a year, instead of just taking the unsell rambutan, we have also thought about taking rambutan seed from the rambutan can manufacturer too.
Okay. What do you think on the what we call the productions of the rambutan itself? Is that a lot in our country for both seasons? For the two seasons?
In my personal experience, yes, I think the rambutan harvest, the annually in our country is quite a lot, because if you can see from the village, from the plantation, during rambutan season, a lot of rambutan is produced. In my school alone, every single time rambutan season come, every single student get like a lot of rambutan for every single student. So it can be seen that a lot of rambutan is produced by our country every single year.
All right. So what do you think with other fruits, seeds, for example, durian? Do you think that it will give this same content of starch as compared to the rambutan?
Perhaps, but due to durian itself, the durian production itself being scarce and rare already, and also how Malaysians eat more durian on average than rambutan. So I think durian-based plastic may not be quite an optimal solution.
I see. Okay, very nice idea. Okay.
Good. It's an interesting, something different. Yeah. I think it would be also nice to hear, because for Lotus itself, I mean, but I like the idea, the fact that you're not actually changing the offering to customers, yeah, because you did mention it comes in a still in a roller format. But it would be nice to also hear from you in terms of how would you talk about it to customers, yeah, because it is for example, if let's say this was introduced in the stores, it wouldn't really necessarily change the customer behavior, right? Because it's already an available product in the store, but it would be good to also hear how would you communicate across this interesting concept or idea to get the customers to also be involved in the sustainability journey.
So about our method to talk about the customer, when we introduce the roller bag to the customer itself, perhaps we think that Lotus could make an announcement that is changing its roller bag into the rambutan-based plastic roller bag in his effort to help our country achieve its goal of having no single-use plastic in 2030. The issue of single-use plastic is already well known among our customers. So as long as Lotus itself market the usage of rambutan-based roller plastic to the customer very nicely, and because the roller plastic itself is no different from the usual roller plastic, so therefore, I think the customer would be really interested in the development.
Okay, yes. Yeah, it's actually, if you manage to produce this kind of rambutan-based plastics, it will be no difference, okay, as compared to our current HDPE and all those. Or perhaps the odor, perhaps from the rambutans itself. So it might add on the flavor and also the odor of the product.
That would be interesting.
Yeah.
Have you guys actually seen a product that's made out of it, or is still just there's no, maybe I missed it earlier, but are there examples of these plastics that are made out of rambutan seeds, or is it still in just a research phase?
It's still a research-based development right now because no company has yet produced this sort of rambutan-based plastic yet. So we think that Lotus could perhaps break through this industry and create the first rambutan-based plastic.
Okay. Yeah, because I think if there is, it'd be quite interesting to know in terms of visibility of the plastic itself, because consumers normally would want to see, be able to see the content of the products that they actually select, even though they do select at stores, but they do want to see. So it's a curiosity in terms of the visibility, the opacity of the plastic itself. Yeah.
Transparency and opacity.
Yeah, transparency. Yeah, they would want to see. So it'd be quite interesting eventually to know how it, whether you can actually see, or is there a slight color distortion considering rambutan seeds are a little bit off color. Yeah.
I see. That this requires further development and research into it.
Yeah, waiting for you guys to complete school and go into it.
Produce your rambutan-based plastic.
Yes, maybe that's a potential business for you to consider, being a rambutan seed plastic manufacturer. Well done, guys. I don't have any further question. Prof, okay, if you have any.
Yeah, no more. No more questions from me. Okay. Thank you very much. Okay, well done.
So much.
Group
well done.
3, right? Is it?
Thank you. Have a nice day.
Yes, you too. Both of all of you.
Interesting presentation indeed. To the members of Blitz, I want to convey my deepest gratitude for the incredible impact you have made. Your creativity, knowledge, and innovation have elevated our intellectual journey to new heights. Thank you, Blitz, for your invaluable contribution and steadfast dedication. Now, let us direct our focus to the next group, the Trinity from SMK Puchong Utama. As you step onto the stage, seize this opportunity to captivate us all with your innovative ideas and insightful perspective. The Trinity, the stage is yours.
Hello to the panel of judges. I would like to ask if my voice is audible.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Thank you for having us here today. We are very grateful to have come this far. Before we start, I would like to introduce myself and my team. My name is Rishalini. I'm the team leader for the Trinity, and together with me, I have Raksha and Nidesh, and my teacher here as well. So I'd like to start off by making the problem statement. What is the problem that Lotus is currently facing? Here in our slides, we have single-use plastic. So first of all, single-use plastic is a plastic that harms nature by causing pollution, endangering wildlife, and contributing to habitat destruction by leaching harmful chemicals and creating waste management challenges. It also turns into nanoplastic once, so it's not fully biodegradable. So there are three main problems in the fresh produce area of Lotus. So fresh produce area in Lotus still has single-use plastic that's being provided to the customers. And the main use of those plastics are found in the vegetable area, the meat area, and the plastic bags that are being provided on rollers. So in the vegetable area, the vegetables are wrapped in non-biodegradable plastic wrap, and that is done to prevent moisture loss from the vegetables provided. Meat, however, it's also wrapped in non-biodegradable plastic, but it's to maintain the freshness and quality of products. And the plastic bags on the rollers in the vegetable area is still being provided as single-use plastic, and it's not exactly biodegradable as well.
So here are the solutions that actually might solve that problem. So we, the Trinity, actually have found multiple solutions to the previously stated problems, such as using food-grade tracing paper to ensure that there is no moisture loss. In the meat section, we decided to use parchment paper to maintain freshness of the meat. And third, plastic rolls to remove plastic rolls, and placing store goods that sell or give paper bags. Okay, now.
To begin with, our first product is the paper bag kit that sells reused paper bags to the customer in the fresh produce area. The paper bags is small but is only detached to the groceries quantity. Our next solution is the spray kit, which contains food-grade food in circulable housing units with it. Moreover, it's just a form of chemical liquid which contains fluorine. Therefore, circularity is a water-soluble solvent, a natural with accelerated forming and binding property. The vital information about purity is in its oxygen barrier property and its excellent moisture retention.
So from our survey results, we have found out that 8 out of 10 of the customers actually use the plastic bags provided. And on average, 3 bags are actually used by each customer. Now, who is the competition and alternative solutions that we actually found? So we actually found food grade tracing paper, wax paper, translucent parchment paper, and paper bags. First, we could have used translucent plastic wraps, but it isn't biodegradable nor recyclable, so we had to scrap that idea. Next, recycled plastic bags. However, maybe it may be cheaper, but it actually isn't exactly plastic free. Besides, most customers throw it away after they've been thrown. And lastly, wax paper would have been ideal, but since if it's left near heat sources or inside the car, it might actually melt, thus not suitable for an alternative.
That's all we have for our presentation today. Thank you for listening, and feel free to ask any questions that you might have.
Hi, hold on, guys. Sorry, I didn't really manage to capture what.
Yeah, me too, actually.
Yeah, because I think the connection, or maybe it was not very clear. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. You are proposing the use of paper bags and edible fiber pullulan wax spray?
Your product, yeah, okay.
Yes, that's what we're proposing.
Okay, so this is the solutions that you're suggesting. And I think earlier in your presentation, you mentioned there were, I think, 3 or 4 ways of approaching different types of produce in the fresh area. I didn't catch that either, actually, in the beginning of your presentation.
This is our plans based on our slides. We're using food-grade tracing paper to ensure there's no moisture loss. And for meat, we're using parchment paper to maintain the freshness of the meat. And we're trying to remove, completely eradicate the use of plastic rolls and placing stalls or boutiques that sell or give paper bags.
Right. Okay. So when it comes to the paper bags and wax spray, is this at the end mile of the shopping experience, or are you referring to the use of that to wrap the vegetables or the fruits within the store area itself?
Within the store area itself.
Okay, so it's actually so what you're looking at is replacing the current plastics that are being used to wrap the vegetables that are available at the fresh area. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, completely removing them.
Okay.
Okay. Can you explain a little bit on the product that you are proposing right now, which is a paper bag plus wax spray? So how will it execute?
So the spray bottle, it just has, I think it should be held by the employees there. So instead of using plastic bags to put the vegetables in and providing them to customers, they should be sprayed with the pullulan spray and be sold just like that. And the paper bag booths, they should be at the fresh produce area. They're just booths which sell or give paper bags to customers there.
So there will be 2 paper and plastic bags over there.
Yeah.
Okay. And then have to provide wax spray.
No, the plastic bag, the spray is actually made from pullulan. So the plastic bags used will not be there. Plastic bags will not be used.
Okay. So paper bag with a pullulan based wax spray. Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Okay. Okay. So what do you think on the arrangement? For example, in the Lotus area, especially in this wet, what we call the wet wet products, for example. So what do you think on the arrangement? How to make sure that it will be visible and easily accessed to the customers, especially?
So my idea is that it's just a booth with an employee there already, and they just sell or provide paper bags for the customers to bring their groceries instead of using plastic bags. And if Lotus is somehow planning to sell those paper bags, it will also inspire customers to bring their own recyclable bags to avoid paying for the paper bags. So in a way, they're not actually using plastic bags directly.
So what is the function for the pullulan based wax spray?
That is for the vegetables that are being sold in a ready-made package. So instead of using a plastic bag to keep the vegetables in there, we could use the pullulan spray to replace the plastic bags.
So you mentioned the wax spray is mostly to be sprayed on the vegetables itself, yeah? So I assume that's one way of keeping the offerings fresh to customers. Would the same apply for wet produce like chicken, fish, meat?
For those, I was thinking of parchment paper for the meat, because it's not fully transparent, but it's translucent, and the quality of the meat can be seen through the parchment paper.
Okay. Have you ever thought on the costing? Perhaps it would be more costing for the Lotus, for example, or it will be reducing instead of using the usual roller plastic bags.
In my opinion, I think using parchment paper and the Buran spray would be more expensive. But if for some reason Lotus decides to sell paper bags, I think that would cover the cost of the Buran spray and the parchment paper. So it would be neither a loss or a profit.
Okay. Now I'm more clear on your idea. All right. Okay. So what do you think? How do you want to make sure that people are, or the clients or customers are aware on this kind of concept?
Maybe having a poster or a banner in front of the Lotus before entering, so they would be well aware that plastic bags are no more provided, and instead they should buy paper bags from the stalls or booths that are there.
Okay. Ms. Zakia, no more questions from me?
Yep, I think no further questions from me. Thank you so much, guys, for your proposal. Well done.
Thank you so much for having us.
I would like to extend my heartfelt thanks to the Trinity for their exceptional contribution, which have filled our intellectual journey with boundless creativity, knowledge, and innovation. Your ideas have had a transformative effect, inspiring us all to reach greater heights. Thank you, the Trinity, for your unwavering commitment and remarkable impact. I hope you have been enjoying this event so far, filled with captivating and insightful presentations. But now it's time for a well-deserved break. Take a moment to stretch, grab a refreshment, and recharge your energy for the rest of the event. See you all at 11 a.m. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Calvin.
Thank you, Calvin.
Thank you, judges.
Do we need to order our own breakfast, Calvin?
Yes.
Can do we sign off or do we come back in?
Yes, panel and judges, you can come at 11 a.m.